Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. I'm pretty sunburnt today. The Miami sun, it was our final day in Miami today. And it's been amazing. It's been a beautiful way to kind of detox a little bit from the Chelsea pre-season tour, get excited again about the new season, having put a lot of time and energy into the tour. We've smashed past 300,000 subscribers now, but if you're not already, make sure you're subscribed because Chelsea news at the moment, it's absolute chaos. It is going crazy. First of all, Samu Omarodion, the deal has collapsed. Conor Gallagher is now being told to fly back to London by Chelsea Football Club because there are things that are just not quite happening. Is he going to go to Atletico Madrid? Will he still go there? Will Chelsea agree a deal for João Felix? At this point in time, it's complete and utter chaos. But in this video today, let's forget about João Felix for a second and let's get excited again about the man who just joined us, the Portuguese winger from Wolverhampton Wanderers, Pedro Neto. A lot of people will be jealous of this signing and as a result of that, they'll come out and they'll say something along these lines. He's always injured, he's got an issue with his hamstring and he's only scored 11 goals in 111 or whatever it is Premier League games. Fair enough. If you've watched Pedro Neto play football, if you've seen how direct that he is, if you've seen how he can beat a man, if you have seen how he can leave defenders just looking bewildered and perplexed as to where the ball is, then this is why you're excited. And Chelsea Football Club, when you look at what we struggled with last season, and let's be honest, we got to a final, we got very close to winning a trophy, we finished 6th in the Premier League, we ended the season superbly well, and that was only when players started to come back from injury. Yes, we have now got a new manager. Yes, we have now got a new system, but what we're going to focus on in this video today is we're going to look at 3 potential teams. I'm going to go with what I think the current strongest Chelsea 11 that involves Neto is when we don't have any injuries. Of course, Reece James is now injured. It's another hamstring issue for him. I wish him all the best. I hope he gets better soon. We're also going to take a little look at a 4-2-3-1 option that I still think works with this Chelsea team, but we're unlikely to see it when we do have such an emphasis right now on the inversion of a fullback. So first of all, I will show you a 4-2-3-1 and immediately here, you're going to be like, Benson, but it looks as though Maresca's got Robert Sanchez as his #1 goalkeeper. That's cool. That's what these videos are for me to give my thoughts and my opinions on what I think should be. And look, I don't have a Sanchez agenda. I'm just not sure he's a good enough goalkeeper for Chelsea Football Club. That's just always been the way I've thought about it, and until I'm proved otherwise for a sustained period of time, then this is what I want to see. Jorgensen in the goal, Gusto, Tosin, Colwill, Cucurella, with Lavia and Caicedo, Nkunku on the left, Cole Palmer in the 10, Neto on the right wing with Nicholas Jackson up front. Immediately here, we're looking at this team and we don't see Enzo Fernandez. And I'll be very honest with you, from what I've seen of Romeo Lavia during this pre-season, when I think about the way that Enzo Maresca really wants to have 2 players as the 8s to be able to suffocate the wings, to allow that winger to be isolated against the fullback, leave that 8 in the half space, in the pocket of space to create something going forward. And the way I look at Enzo Fernandez and I'm like, is he able to do that role as an 8 yet? I'm not sure. I don't think Enzo Fernandez has the legs. There's never a question about the effort. I don't know if he's got the legs to be able to do that. Yes, he's got this brilliant vision to see a pass. We saw it in moments against Inter Milan. But I think when you look at what Lavia brings to this Chelsea team, I think eventually Enzo Maresca could see Lavia as one of those players that he just has to have in the side due to that defensive stability that he brings to the team. He was able during pre-season, even when Gusto particularly, as that inverted fullback, Gusto would advance into the midfield and then he'd go even further forward, and at times, because we were struggling with fitness, because we're still learning the shape, we're still learning the roles, when Gusto goes forward to be able to put a cross in the box, then what do those midfielders in the central areas do? Who progresses with Gusto? Who drops a bit deeper to protect Lavia and protect the defence? And in my opinion, It was the defence, as in the actual defenders, that let us down during pre-season, and not the protection of Romeo Lavia in front of those defenders. I think Lavia looked really good. And considering he didn't play any football last season, to come back playing professional minutes the way that he did, he's only going to improve and he's only going to get better. So this is the lineup here with Pedro Neto in it, and Pedro Neto is obviously the talking point of this video. But this is just to showcase that I do think there could be a team for Chelsea this season that doesn't involve Enzo Fernandez. And I would love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments down below. The next one is what I think the lineup is going to be this weekend against Manchester City. So again, Jorgensen in goal, it's probably going to be Sanchez, but Jorgensen at the moment still would be my pick. Malo Gusto in the right centre-back position, Fofana, Colwill, Cucurella in that left central midfield lining up position with Lavia, with Caicedo and Nkunku in front of him, Palmer on the right wing, Neto on the left wing, and Nicholas Jackson up front. I do think at the moment, when it comes to that positional understanding, yes, we've seen Enzo Fernandez play pretty well in that game against Inter Milan. I think he started the game quite well against Real Madrid. But based on everything that we know from what we have seen of Enzo Maresca's Chelsea during this pre-season so far, I would not be surprised if Romeo Lavia does start. I think he didn't look as good the other day, and I do think that there is going to be a world here where there is an element of the manager having to play Enzo Fernandez because he is one of those £100 million midfielders. This was the start of the Chelsea rebuild. We spent so much money on him. And look, I still really rate Enzo Fernandez, I do. But when it comes to the balance of this Chelsea team, I think Caicedo can do more of that going forward and getting back role at the moment, more so than Enzo Fernandez. I think both of them are still coming back to fitness, but I just have a feeling that Caicedo is more ready and Lavia looks really fit right now. So that is what we could see, but it could easily be Enzo in there for Lavia. I just wanted to showcase my thoughts here today because I do think Lavia is going to be an important player for us this season. This, on the other hand, is another option that we have got here. 3-2-4-1 again. This is with Reece James back in the Chelsea team, and this is where I want to talk about the importance of Pedro Neto. What does Pedro Neto bring to this Chelsea team? James, Fofana, Colwill, Enzo, Cucurella, Cole Palmer on the right, Jackson up top, Neto, and then the 2-8s, Caicedo and Nkunku. I think Enzo deployed deeper is where we're going to get the best out of him. Cucurella also as that defender who can invert. Reece James also there. You've got a bit of adaptability game by game. Cucurella can sit back, James can sit back, and both can step into that midfield. James just needs to grow into the role. Now, Pedro Neto, what is exciting about this Chelsea team is that I think awareness-wise, when it comes to what Neto can do, he's got so much speed, and this is obviously all talking about when he's fit and firing. He's got so much speed that he can offer Chelsea something on the counter. As well as that, when you've got someone, and potentially we add a João Felix into this, which could see Neto move over to the right, Palmer move central. When you have got three players like Christopher Nkunku, Cole Palmer, Pedro Neto in the team, what this does for a player like Nicholas Jackson, who, and this is the sticking point here as to why I think Neto is such a good signing, and it's Nicholas Jackson who is going to be like, you know, sometimes when you light a barbecue and you're looking at all of the stuff and you want the coals to light and you're like, what is it that's missing? Is it a match? Is it the fire? Whatever it is, there's always something missing. And last season, that's what it was with Jackson. It was the consistency to put the ball in the back of the net, but as a result of that, it was the reliance on a small handful of players, one or two at best, to provide him with the opportunities. As the season went on, Chelsea's chance creation went up, but it was at the start of the season and during that Christmas period where Nicholas Jackson was fluffing a load of chances, missing a load of chances, and we weren't creating that many. Now, with Neto, Nkunku, Palmer, Chelsea can't be as predictable as we have been in the past. It isn't as obvious anymore where the run's going to be, where we're going to be playing it back to the fullbacks to just whip another cross in the box. What we've got now is a player in Pedro Neto who's got the confidence to be able to run, drive, take on a player. As well as that, Noni Madueke hasn't made it into this team, because I do think there are players here that probably deserve to be playing that won't get chance to play as a result of bringing in a player of Pedro Neto's calibre. And I think if I look at the Chelsea squad and I look at the potential of having a fully fit squad, unfortunately for Madueke at this point, I think Nkunku, Palmer, Neto and Jackson are ahead of him to start in this Chelsea team. So it's a good problem for Enzo Maresca to have, in the sense of having so many quality players is going to give him options. If, heaven forbid it doesn't happen, if we suffer with injuries again, hopefully we've got the quality now in the squad to be able to just cherry pick a quality player to come in and make a difference. Someone like Noni Madueke coming on with 20 minutes to go when Chelsea are changing the game and we're struggling to break teams down is going to scare Premier League defences. Noni's got that ability to drive at players. His take-on rate is brilliant. His dribble success rate, brilliant. And I think the way that Chelsea are going to evolve by having Neto in this team is about the alleviation of the creative need on a Palmer, the creative need on a great cross from Reece James or Malo Gusto or Marc Cucurella. Pedro Neto is going to add to this. Yes, the goals record that I referenced at the beginning of this video isn't great, but we've also seen countless times before players that are playing in a weaker side don't always get the numbers that they probably deserve for their ability as a player. But now, Pedro Neto, I genuinely believe, no disrespect to Wolves, but he's going to be playing now with better footballers. So I think his goal numbers will go up again. The way that Palmer can find a pass. Christopher Nkunku sees the game. Enzo Fernandez, if he's fit and firing. These players know how to find someone like Neto, put him in a position to isolate a defender and get round them. And he's a great finisher when he does get the chance to as well. He just wasn't doing it enough at Wolves, but he's got the ability. He's done it against Chelsea. That's another great reason why we've signed him. He can't score against us now in the 90th plus minute. But anyway, let me know what you think of these teams. There are still big debates here, and I want to talk about them a bit now. I'm not sure if it's Wesley Fofana or Tosin to start the season. I'm pretty much 50-50 on them both right now. I think Wesley Fofana is still a bit erratic. I think at times he looks like he's just so fired up trying to prove a point after spending a year out that maybe he's got more errors in him right now. Maybe Tosin's a bit more balanced. But is he going to be a better defender long term than Wesley Fofana? Good questions. These are all very good questions that we're going to start getting answers to very quickly with this Chelsea team. So, the other big question, Enzo Fernandez. I'm pretty sure right now he's still ahead of Lavia, but I think it's great that we've got that option to have Romeo Lavia, who looks so strong and sturdy in those defensive sectors of the field for Chelsea. So, what an exciting problem we have got going into this Premier League season. So many players, yes, we're going to get rid of a lot of them. And a lot of the players, if you look at the Chelsea squad list, you just know they're not even going to be part of any kind of Enzo Maresca selection headache. So as much as rival fans will be like, look at the size of Chelsea squad, what are they doing? What is this transfer policy? At the same time, we're going to have an absolute cherry pick this season as long as we can steer clear of injuries. That is the biggest thing that all of this hangs on, having all of these players fit at the same time. The great thing about Neto is he can play on the left or on the right. So depending on who's fit, depending on what we need, with lots of matches coming up with Conference League as well, this is just a brilliant Chelsea signing in my book. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Subscribe to GBFC if you are new around here and haven't already done so. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Come on, you Blues.